Quite frankly, I'm a little shocked how much trust you have put in me. Bless you, Belle. It's been such a blessing to get to know each of you better as we prepare for today. As Belle's uncle, I've had the privilege of watching her grow from a little girl into an amazing woman that she is today. Yes, a woman of few words, but I'm promising you, dear, I will get you to talk more today. Noah, welcome to the family. We couldn't be happier that you're part of it. Grandma Joyce actually said several years ago that this day would happen. And she knew this because you two had just started dating, and we'd lost more. And you came to the visitation and showed up, and all the hands. And the grandma said, man, he's a keeper. As for the uncles, we were looking at you over there, standing over there, and said, wonder why we need a bouncer at the visitation. Well, if you know Bella and Noah all what you do because you're here. You know that they're both incredibly soft-spoken and short on words. Very kind-hearted, but very soft-spoken. So trying to interview them in person for this event would have been like a little bit like pulling teeth. And I'm not a very good dentist. So in preparation, I actually sent a questionnaire to both of them on email and asked them not to share it. And then I just wanted to learn more about their story. So I figured asking a few questions, we could uncover some stories. Fortunately, they were willing to answer by email. And then we met in person. I got a really good feel of the love they share. Their story actually started several years ago. They knew each other in high school. And what that really means is they knew of each other. Life took them in different directions. Then during their sophomore year at college, they reconnected through Snapchat. Darren, do you know what that is? You've heard of it? Who knew that one little notification would eventually lead us all here today? Their first date was wonderfully simple. They drove around looking at Christmas lights, stopped for ice cream, and ended up at the Olive Garden. Nothing fancy, just two people enjoying each other's company. The next few years of long-distance relationships, they really talked about how they learned to trust each other and cherish the time together. And 4 years later, they told me they've still had no fights. Yes, they already bought a house together, and I'm still curious. No fights? Really? Okay. Oh boy, be quiet. As I read their answers and talked to them, I noticed something really special. They talk a lot about character. And for young people to talk about character and building a relationship by listening to others, especially when they have different opinions, is really special. Belle said she fell in love with how Noah sees the good in everything and gives all he has to his family, his friendships, his work, and his workouts. Yeah, you got it. And apparently his energy is fueled by a love for protein. I did learn two things that drives Belle a little bit crazy. Only two. It'll grow, trust me. One is opening the pantry and finding empty cereal boxes. I guess Noah thinks it's easier to put the empty boxes back than versus taking out the trash. And two, the grocery budget. It seems like protein habits take up a sizable portion of the nurse's salary. On the other hand, Noah's list of things that bothered him was remarkably short. His biggest frustration, when Belle answers a question with, I don't know. I just look over at Jim and he's nodding his head. Like every other husband in here, yep, you're going to hear a lot of that, but that's all good. The beautiful thing is neither of you expects the other to be perfect. You choose to love each other through the little quirks that every marriage eventually discovers. As Noah said, you're both really good with the flow. I don't think that means his hair, but the flow. That's good. Okay, that's exactly what Paul was talking about in Romans 12. When he wrote, love must be sincere, be devoted to one another in love, honor one another above yourselves, live in harmony with one another. Those verses aren't describing a perfect marriage. They're describing two imperfect people who choose each other every single day. The second reading reminds us of why that's possible. We love because he first loved us. God's love is what enables us to forgive quickly, serve willingly, and love faithfully. One answer that both of you gave really stood out to me. You both said your parents have shown you what a strong marriage looks like through commitment, faithfulness, and overcoming adversity together. Today, you're not starting from scratch. You're building on an example of how your parents and your grandparents. That legacy is made up of thousands of ordinary days filled with love, sacrifice, and forgiveness, patience, and choosing each other over and over again. That is what a successful marriage looks like. Noah, I also learned there are two things that still make your eyes light up. I didn't know you as well as I knew Belle. When you came over, every time we talked about Belle, you just got this look in your eye, and it just lit up. I appreciated that. My nieces are really special, and I appreciate that. And the other was talking about football. See, when we met to discuss today, I don't know how it came up, but casually you mentioned, it wasn't a brag, just casually you mentioned, you once ran a 4.44 40-yard dash at Wayne State. And you were the fastest player on the team, even faster than your dad was in his glory days. We might have a race later, okay? But here's the thing. Football may be measured in 40-yard dashes. Marriages aren't. Marriage isn't about how fast you start. It's about faithfully finishing the race together. So my encouragement to both of you is simple. Never stop dating each other. Keep talking and listening at the end of each day. Laugh often, even about the empty cereal boxes, overflowing the trash cans, grocery bills full of protein, and the answer Noah will often hear, I don't know. Celebrate each other's differences, because those differences are what makes you stronger. Trust God. Choose forgiveness, and never stop cheering for one another. Belle and Noah, it's been one of the greatest honors of my life, not just as your officiant, but your uncle, to stand here with you beginning this journey. May your love always be sincere, may your home always be filled with laughter, and may God richly bless your marriage for all the years ahead. Mr. and Mrs. Noah Isabelle Scott. Noah, you may kiss your bride.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, shut up and dance with me. We were victims of the night, the chemical, physical, kryptonite. Help us to the base and the fading light. Oh, we were bound to get together, bound to get together. She took my arm, I don't know how it happened. We took the floor and she said, oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, shut up and dance with me. A backless dress and some beat up sneaks. My discotheque, Juliet, teenage dream. I felt it in my chest as she looked at me. I knew we were bound to be together, bound to be together. She took my arm, I don't know how it happened. We took the floor and she said, oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, shut up and dance with me. Oh, come on, girl. Deep in her eyes, I think I see the future. I realize